Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol. So we'll be continuing our discussions on a topic which we have been discussing since last two sessions. Topic is called Show Bottled Spiritualists Exposed. This is the last and the concluding part. So this is a conversation Prabhupada is having with a journalist in America, Los Angeles, in the very early years of ISKCON, wherein ISKCON just had begun and Prabhupada had to have a lot of challenges with many swamis and gurus coming from India and doing their own ways of preaching other things. So Prabhupada had to encounter many such challenging situations of journalists or some prominent people coming and questioning him and trying to ask many clarifications. This is the context. And all these teachings of Srila Prabhupada are so wonderfully and nicely given to us by Prabhupada in a form that we can access them, understand them. So our effort is to only try to understand them in a more detailed manner in these sessions. Right? Prabhupada's books are self-evident. Just you start reading them, you'll understand. But this effort is to again bring or reach out to people through this YouTube platform or whatever platforms, online platforms, to see that people at least know that, okay, systematically there is subject matter going on. Okay, so we pray to Prabhupada that he will give us more strength to continue doing this. And Prabhupada himself did that with regard to recording all his talks, recording all his lectures, and in fact, printing his books in a very big way. So we have taken inspiration from him for continuing with our continuing the preaching work which he has already begun. So in the last two sessions, we have discussed a few things which we'll try to just quickly remember them. Quick recap. So the journalist was asking about how there's so many gurus, what is their stand. So Prabhupada says, yes, gurus, simply calling yourself guru is going to cheat people and be fooling. So-called guru is not a real guru. You're simply making people foolish. And Prabhupada said, actually, people want to get things very cheap, so they're getting cheated. And there are cheaters also available. So Prabhupada said, in our organization, ISKCON organization, we make things to get admitted to our organization is not easy, because with regard to following the principles, 4 principles we follow: no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. Not easy for people to give it up because that is their lifestyle. So people, there are some cheaters in the guise of gurus who are just telling you, do anything and everything. I'll make you God, I'll give you some mantra, you can go on in your life. So that is the meaning of cheaters and cheated. So Prabhupada said how, in the course of conversation, that when you have proper spiritual understanding and you practice the standard spiritual regulations, that will give a lot of clarity in our life. Otherwise, you'll remain clouded, or you'll remain in a situation of confusion and continue to lead a life of total disappointment, frustration, if you don't take up the genuine spiritual practices. So Prabhupada also pointed out how why one of the questions of the journalist was that what is that your movement is different from already existing religions in our country, Judaism or Christianity. Prabhupada said, the problem is that you people don't follow the principles of your religion. Christ has said, thou shalt not kill. Jesus Christ has said, but where are you following? That is the point. So you are not strictly following your own principles, the principles which your teachers have given you. And Prabhupada said, by not following, your society has degraded to animal society. So the journalist further asks, then what is, how is that you are trying to help, or that you are trying to tell your followers to follow? Because Prabhupada said, we are trying to practically tell them in a way that they can follow. So we are really we are not here to change your faith, or you are not here to convert you from one religion to other religion. We're only trying to make you a good Christian. We're only trying to make you a good, follower of Judaism or a good Muslim, right? Please follow what God has told in your scriptures. Follow God's commandments. That is the purpose for which we are here. We're not here to do any conversions or do any sort of you come to my place, my faith. No. So Prabhupada said, I'm teaching them practically how to love God. That's the reason the young youth are getting attracted to my movement. So meanwhile, in the course of discussion, the journalist asked how in the youth commonly there's a problem of attraction between opposite sex. How do you mitigate that? So Prabhupada very nicely answered that in our organization, because we are following the rules, regulations strictly, and the youth, especially boys and girls, they are not allowed to live like friends. Rather, they are, myself have got them married, and then they are trying to follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita and scriptures. So that way the problems of sex is solved, right? So Prabhupada in that way goes on with how the modern day context of gurus, they're simply trying to cheat people. I'll give you, some mantra, give me $35 and I'll make you God. Like this, people, we have to use our common sense to understand what's going on in society. Anybody claiming that I am God or I'll make you God, these are all, in one sense, fake. These claims are fake, and people want to get something very instantly, quickly, anything. We cannot simply take up spirituality in a way that, like any other, aspect of, okay, I had to burn my fats, let me go to gym. It's not like that. It's basically a process which you have to go through, a discipline which you have to go through in a very systematic manner. That was the thing which Prabhupada was trying to explain to us. Let's move ahead with regard to the next point which Prabhupada will discuss. Now Prabhupada is going to tell how Krishna consciousness movement will give more enlightenment. So the journalist is asking, this kind of thing has disenchanted an awful lot of young people. What kind of thing? Like how the so-called gurus or fake gurus who have come and misleading people, the youth are all illusioned, right? So like this, they are also drifting away from spirituality. So it's creating a lot of confusions. That was the point. So Prabhupada says, so please try to help us. This movement is very nice. It will help your country. It will help the whole human society. It is a genuine movement. We are not bluffing or cheating. It is authorized. Very nice, Prabhupada is telling. See, we are trying to propagate a very genuine movement. It will not only help individually everybody, it will help your whole country, whole human society. Prabhupada is telling ours is a genuine movement. Why? Because this movement is not manufactured by me. It is authorized by Krishna. Krishna has begun this whole movement. Lord Krishna, who is Supreme Lord, he has begun this. And there's a chain of succession in which there are acharyas who have propagated this knowledge for the benefit of the whole human society. And there is no bluffing or cheating in this. It is genuinely trying to help the people in society. So the natural question generally is asking, authorized by whom? So Prabhupada says, authorized by Krishna, God. In India, this Krishna consciousness philosophy has millions and millions of followers, 80% of the population. If you ask any Indian, he'll be able to tell you so many things about Krishna consciousness. See, Prabhupada is telling how in India, people are mostly Krishna conscious. We all know this is the way you have to lead our life, right? So this was something which is new in the Western countries. So this was just beginning of ISKCON movement, Hare Krishna movement. So who has authorized your movement is the question. By the journalist, Prabhupada says God himself, Krishna himself has authorized this movement. Not that, it is something out of the box or out of the way. Prabhupada has introduced something. It is already being practiced in India by millions. Prabhupada is giving that one more angle to this whole answer also. The journalist is having a follow-up question. Do you really think, from a very practical standpoint, that your movement has a chance to make it here in America? He is doubting. Journalist is doubting whether it's possible, you can say, because ours is a different culture, different type of faith people are following. Prabhupada says, for what I have seen, it has a great chance. That Prabhupada landed in America in the year 1965, September. At time, Prabhupada hardly had any connections. He was all alone, struggling alone. But Prabhupada, through his, one of his acquaintances, he was staying for a month in Butler, Pennsylvania, and 1 month in New York. He was studying the people and the situation there, society there. He found that the people are all receptive, religious, just that the things have to be presented in a very genuine manner. That was Prabhupada's, understanding. And slowly things started off. So that's what Prabhupada is referring here. Yes, but whatever I have seen, it has a great chance. Prabhupada personally, this conversation happened in 1968, 69. Almost 3 years later, 4 years later. That time Prabhupada had already established few centers. We don't say, give up your religion and come to us. That is not our way of preaching. We say, at least follow your own principles. And then, if you want to, study with us. Right? You follow whatever you're following strictly with you in your religion, but become serious in that following. Because human society without religion is animal society. Follow your own principles. And if you want to, also study something from in our side, what we are trying to follow, you are most welcome, Prabhupada said. So he gives a nice example. Sometimes it happens that although students have received their MA degree, they go to the foreign universities to study more. Right? Somebody's already got a very top degree, but even then they want to understand what is the further understanding of what the other countries are teaching, what the different perspectives are. So they go to foreign universities to study more. So likewise, why they do this? Because they want more enlightenment. That is the reason. Similarly, any religious scripture you may follow will give you enlightenment. So very nicely Prabhupada is telling that if you can simply seriously study any religious scripture, it will give you enlightenment. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we're trying to study Bhagavad Gita and Vedic scriptures very seriously. Definitely it will give you more enlightenment. But if you find more in this Krishna consciousness movement, then why should you not accept it? Right? This is the advice given by Chanakya Pandita. Right? If you find gold in a filthy place, please pick it up because gold is always valuable. And if you see that somebody who is very learned and is not from a very good background, but even then, because his learning is what is important for us, you should accept that learning, that wisdom from that person. Like that, there are very good advices given by Chanakya Pandita also. Prabhupada is bringing that logic here. With regard to, if you are seeing that in your religion, your enlightenment with regard to understanding God, understanding various, the workings of this world is not very clear. In our case, we are trying to give that enlightenment, give that understanding in a nice way. Why don't you accept it? That's the point. Very nicely, very, you can say courteously, Prabhupada is presenting things in such a wonderful manner. You can see how the flow of conversation is going on. If you are serious about God, why should you say, oh, I am Christian, I am Jewish, I cannot attend your meeting? Here we can see Prabhupada's mood, attitude of all inclusiveness. Right? We should never keep our mind shut with regard to, oh, I am only worried about this. Right? In fact, on many occasions, Prabhupada said, every religion finally is teaching us how to love God. how to make you a lover of God in different ways. Right? There are different ways. Because people in different situations, different circumstances, time, place, situations are different. So based on the different situations, people are taught. So Prabhupada was always having this all-inclusiveness with regard to his preaching way, that we are not having this fanatic view that, oh, now you are following something, you leave that and come here. No. Prabhupada always said, if something is, you try to understand what we're telling you. If you find it to be very reasonable, very logical, and convincing, you try to adopt those things. And very clearly, Prabhupada has told just some time before, we just read, we want to make you a very good Christian. We want to make you a very good follower of Judaism or any religion, faith. Right now, you're not following that also. That's the problem. Right? So these statements of I am Christian, right? You cannot come to my church. I am Jewish. So people who are serious will never have this sort of a, this fanatic views. Oh, I am that. I am this. Nowadays, people rather the politicians and the different people, different section of society are trying to make it make this religion as a means or tools to divide the society or create some disharmony amongst people. Because every religion finally is teaching the same thing. It's like so many universities all over the world are giving the same education. As Prabhupada said, maybe this university is teaching better, giving you more enlightenment. So you have to be having that open-mindedness with regard to having the acceptance of something is better, something is good. Why don't I accept? Basically broader understanding. Why should you say, oh, I cannot allow you to speak in my church? If I'm speaking about God, what objection can you have? You see. In fact, there's a nice statement in the Bhagavata which says, Akama sarvakamo va mokshakama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Udaradhi, this word is there in this sloka, which I mentioned now. Udara means very broad-minded, all-inclusive. This is the way Prabhupada has come. See, if Prabhupada was thinking that, oh, okay, why you have to go to Western countries, why they should get benefited? If he was not broad-minded, why he would have taken the risk at this very age, 70 years, very elderly age, to go and give this message to everybody? So this is how a spiritualist should be. They should be broad-minded, all-inclusive, all accommodating. That's the point. So if you can become very narrow-minded, very cripple-minded, and think, oh, why should you speak to in my church? You are a different religion. This is all the mentality of people who don't have the proper understanding of what is religion. So the journalist is also convinced. He says, well, I couldn't agree with you anymore. Means that I have to agree what you're telling. The next point which Prabhupada is going to discuss is about how to expose a show bottle spiritualist. So Prabhupada says, I am prepared to talk with a God conscious man. Right? Any person who is trying to follow any principles of religion, I am prepared to speak to him. Let us chalk out a program so that people may be benefited. See, just look at the all-inclusive and wonderful perspective which Prabhupada is trying to present things. I am ready to work with anybody, provided people are benefited. That is the whole point. That is the purpose of the sage or the saintly people. The sages or the saints, they're not having any sectarian view. Only my community, my society, or people who are following some specific faith should be benefited. No. They are, just like Krishna says, I am the father of all living entities. Sarva yonishu kaunteya, murtaya sambhavantiya, tasam aham yoni mahat brahma aham bija pratapita. Krishna says, I am the father. Sarva yonishu. Krishna is not discriminating human society, animal society, bird society. No. Every living entity, Krishna says, they are my children. Similar vision a pure devotee or a advanced spiritualist has. He's seeing everybody has children of God. They may follow one particular path, doesn't matter. But let us see that we become instruments in facilitating that particular faith in a way that people become more serious. That's the understanding. Just see the wonderful, accommodative and all-inclusiveness of Srila Prabhupada. So nice. Right? So Prabhupada says, let us talk about a program that people may be benefited. Right? But they want to go on in their stereotyped way because everybody's fixed some understanding, some biases, some sort of the myths and facts. They want to go in a stereotyped way. Don't want to change. Don't want to have a broader understanding. It's like a horse, just seeing the road and going. Doesn't want to expand our understanding, grow in our thought process. That makes you very, you can say, fanatic, and doesn't it's going to stunt your growth. Prabhupada says, if we see that by following a particular type of religious principle, one is developing love of God, that is first class religion. Just see, such a wonderful understanding, right? Unless you see that you follow anything, just like you go to any university, finally the student who is passing out from university, he is aware of the different teachings and various the lessons which can be practically applied in his life and benefit everybody. That is the purpose of university, educating or becoming an educated person. Right? If you're not having this view or this development of understanding that this education what I have got should be benefiting me and everybody in a bigger way, then what is the point? That what you're getting educated. Likewise, Prabhupada says the purpose of any religion is to develop that love of God. If that love of God is not developed in us, and you become a nice lover of God, then simply in the namesake you're following a religion. What is the use of that? So Prabhupada says, if we see that by following a particular type of religious principle, one is developing love of God, that is first class religion. But if one is merely developing his love for mammon, then what kind of religion is that? I say I'm the follower of a particular faith, particular religion, but your behavior, your actions are much baser than even animals. What is the use? At least animals follow certain principles in their life. So Prabhupada is pointing out this aspect that you're telling that you're following some religion, but there is no change in your way of approach with people and situations around you, then you're not even come to the human platform. Journalist also acknowledges, yes, what you're saying is right. That is our test. You have to develop love of God. Very simple. Prabhupada says, our test is what? If you have developed love of God, the following of your religion is genuine. And if you're not coming to this level of loving God, then whatever you're following is not proper. Just like the university is imparting education. The student is trying to follow that seriously, and in fact, the university also helps. The university should help him to become a good educated person. Then the system is working very well. If the university is producing students who are all like hippies or people who are frustrated, confused, don't know what to do in their life, then there's a problem with the education and with the children both. Right? Test. What is the test? We don't say that you must follow Christianity or Mohammedanism or Judaism or Hinduism. No, we are not behind, making any conversions. No. We simply look to see whether you are developing your love of Godhead. That's all. You have become lover of God because finally God is one. He may be called by different names, by different people, but that God is one. You have become a lover of God, fine, that's it. But they say, who is God? I am God. You see, everyone is taught nowadays that everyone is God. This is what the so-called modern day fake gurus are trying to mislead people. Right? Who is God? I am only God. You can also become God. Everybody can become God. Like that they are teaching. So this journalist is coming with a question. Have you seen pictures of smiling man with a mustache and a pushed nose, in pushed in nose? Before he died, he said he was God. As if he was God. There was another rascal. Just see, this is going on. So this claim that I become God or I am God, these are all claims which only foolish people make without proper understanding of God. Right? God is eternal, eternally existing. Right? He's not subject to the conditions of birth, death, old age, disease like we are subjected to. Right? That is God's position. So without understanding God, simply somebody is claiming I am God. Prabhupada says he is another rascal. He was making propaganda that he was God. That means that people do not know what God is. Somebody is trying to sell you diamonds for say a few hundred rupees. You understand, he is cheating you. The diamond doesn't cost few hundred rupees. It's quite expensive. So likewise, somebody is trying to tell you that I'll make you God. You are also God. I am also God. So that's a propaganda. Means the people also don't know what is God. So all are in the category of fools. Suppose I come to you and say that I am the president of the United States. Will you accept me? Very nice example, Prabhupada says. Simply I come and tell I am the president of America. Will you accept me? Nowadays, there is a lot of digital scam going on. People are all confronted with different or disguise themselves as officers, and they say, I am calling from income tax department, I'm calling from enforcement directorate, like this. So people who don't know what is what, they get carried away or they get come under this influence of somebody calling like that. They become threatened and they are becoming victims of scam. Right? So government is trying to educate people, don't become victims of such plots, such arrangements, people simply claiming themselves to be something. You should ask their identity. Right? So Prabhupada is giving a similar example here. If I come and say I am President of America, will you accept me? You should have some credentials, know that I am a President of America. So further it is said, so we don't say don't mix with women, stop sex life. We do have a very regulated way of having a married life and having sex within marriage for begetting children. So this journalist is taking it. Yes, no, I don't think that I would. These rascals, the people are accepting them as God because they do not know what God is. That is the problem. This is the basic root problem. Root analysis. Prabhupada is doing root analysis of what is the problem. The so-called gurus don't know who is God. When common man doesn't know who is God, so the problem continues to exist. So like this, Prabhupada goes on to explain to us how simply posing ourselves as somebody is posing themselves as God, and we being ignorant of the facts of God will remain, as Prabhupada says, rascals. Strong words. It's just absolutely absurd. Somebody comes along and tells you that he is God, right? Like this, people are just coming forward and claiming that they are God. Prabhupada says, but whoever accepts him as God is just as much a rascal. Cheaters and cheated. The man who says he's God, he's a rascal number one, he's a cheater. Very strong words Prabhupada uses. And the man who is cheated, he's also a rascal. He does not know what God is. Both are meant for each other. If you're not genuine, this is the situation which will come up. He thinks that God is so cheap that you can find him in the marketplace. That's what the so-called, people think. Everything they want cheap. Everything very cheap, very free means I take it. Right? So Prabhupada explains further in the next portion of our discussion how Krishna consciousness movement is a department of how to know God. So the journalist is having a follow-up question. Of course, the Western concept is that man is created in the image of God. Consequently, God must look somewhat like man. He's bringing one idea, one concept. How the Westerners have this understanding that, oh, because the man is created as is created in the image of God. So one of the humans should actually must be God. That is the understanding. So Prabhupada now challenges. You have got so many scientists in your Western country, right? They're all big scientists. So find out what the actual image of God is, what his form is really like. Let them start, finding out, discovering, right? Experimenting, finding out the truth, right? Where is that a department? You have got so many departments, research department, technology department, right? So many departments are there in your universities now. So one of the departments you would have. But where is the department that researches what God is? Is there any such department of knowledge? Prabhupada often put this challenge. Any education institution he used to go to preach in universities. He visited once Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, and they are same thing. So many departments you have in your university, but is there a department which is researching about soul, researching about God? Nothing. This is the present day situation. So Prabhupada further the journalist is asking a follow-up point. There is no God department working tonight. I'll tell you that right now. So he's also convinced. There's no department in the universities that they're researching about God or understanding about soul. Prabhupada says that is the difficulty. But the Krishna consciousness movement is a department of how to know God. So it is intervention which Prabhupada said it is being made because it is essential, it is necessary. So Krishna consciousness movement is the department of how to know God. If you study with us, then you will not accept any rascal as God. You will accept only God as God. You see, there's a department required, there's a separate faculty required for this. We are teaching about another nature beyond this material nature. Prabhupada says we're teaching people about spiritual nature, which is beyond this material world. This material nature is coming into existence and again dissolving, but God and spiritual nature are eternal. This is what Prabhupada is preaching to all of us from Bhagavad Gita's teachings. Right? Krishna says that this material world is temporarily created. It's repeatedly going through cycles of creation, maintenance, destruction. But there is one more nature of God which is eternal, ever existing. We living entities are also eternal without any end or any beginning. That is our spiritual nature. Sachidananda nature means we are also eternal. We don't have any beginning, but we are thinking that I'm born here, I have this family, I'm just going to finish one day or die one day. These are all wrong understandings we have, misunderstandings we have. The Krishna conscious movement is teaching how we can transfer ourselves to the eternal spiritual nature where God is residing. Prabhupada is teaching the essence of Bhagavad Gita here. Bhagavad Gita is telling all of us that all of us belong to the spiritual world. All of us have eternal residence in Krishna Loka. But we have forgotten that and come here and struggling in this material world. So we have to return back to the spiritual world. That is the whole purpose. So further Prabhupada says, next point of discussion will be about real advancement. What is real advancement? So the journalist is confirming what Prabhupada made the point. Yes, that's man's quest to know about God, know about himself, know about material world around him. That is a natural inclination every person has. So Prabhupada says, yes, that is the quest. Everyone is trying to be happy because that is the living entity's prerogative. There's a Vedic statement called Anandamayo Bhyasat, which means what is life? If you ask definition, life means happiness. So everybody is trying to be happy in whatever situation he is right now situated. But much contrary to his liking, he will be put into situations of trouble, pain, hardships, right, discomfort. But we don't want to go through this troubles, hardships, and different painful situations. Everybody is trying to be happy because that is the living entity's prerogative. He is meant by nature to be happy, but he does not know where he can be happy. That is the problem. Everybody is supposed to be happy, but he doesn't know where to get happiness. So-called happiness or imitation happiness is is accepting as happiness and getting cheated. He's trying to be happy in a place where there are four miserable conditions. This material world, Krishna says, dukkhalaya. It's not a place of happiness at all. Okay, little I'll adjust and try to go on. I can become maybe happy in the future. Krishna says further, it is temporary world. That's what the world is. So the whole message of Bhagavad Gita is to give up this temporary material world, miserable world, and go back to eternal, blissful world of spiritual existence. Right? All of us are trying to be happy here somehow, but much contrary to our efforts, we are forced to become unhappy. The scientists are trying to be happy and make other people happy. That's what we can see. The philosophers, scientists, the political leaders, they're all making efforts to see that people are happy. But what scientist has stopped old age, disease, death, and rebirth? Has any scientist succeeded? Right? Nobody is able to solve these four problems of life. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. Old age, disease, birth, and disease. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. Old age, disease, right? Birth, death. Nobody is able to solve this. So even journalists acknowledge, yes, I don't think so. Journalists have solved. Prabhupada says, so what is this? Why do they not consider? We have made so much improvement, but what improvement have we made in these four areas? Hey, you're all telling that we're advancing in science, technology, and so many different departments of knowledge. But unless you solve these four problems of life, birth, death, old age, disease, any advancement you make is only simply useless, futile, right? Prabhupada is challenging this aspect. They have not made any advancement actually. And still, they're very much proud of their advancement in education technology. Right? This is the false pride the modern day education has created in people. Oh, I'm very learned now. I know how to figure out things. I can manipulate things in my life. I can figure out this. I can do that. But all this is only creating a sense of illusory assurance to all of us. Oh, I'm okay. I'm fine. So Prabhupada says, simply being proud of your own level of understanding and exposure to the world doesn't solve your real problems of life. But the four primary miseries remain as they are. Until now, nobody has got any solution for these things. Right? The scientists may have made advancements in medicine, but is there any remedy that can allow us to claim now there is no more disease? Even up to even in today's context, if you see, even up to date, discoveries or experiments with regard to medicines and treatments, what you see, nobody, the scientists cannot say, okay, from tomorrow onwards, nobody will have any disease. Recently, we are hearing that how the coronavirus, which was too much rampant couple of years ago, again it is surfacing up. So what does it indicate? It only indicates how that whatever it is, this material world, everybody has to go through these four miseries. You cannot make it disease-free world, or you cannot make it, death-free world. No. So Prabhupada very nicely analyzes these aspects. That whatever it is, advancement you are making is okay, but no scientist or no researcher can claim that there is no more disease will be there. Over, I have discovered medicine in such a way that all diseases are going to be cured. No, not possible. Is there any such remedy? No. So then what is the scientist's advancement? Rather, disease is increasing in so many new forms. Let's see the present situation. This is very much true even now. It's going to be true forever in the material world. So what is the advancement scientists are making? And different variants. I heard Corona has come in a different variant. The virus has come in a different variant. Like this, in different ways, the material nature is trying to punish us because we are not trying to follow what Krishna wants us to follow. They have invented nuclear weapons. What good is that? Simply for killing. The present situation of tension going on in the Middle East countries and America is all because of this only. Oh, nuclear weapon you have created. We are going to destroy your nuclear plants. Like this, things are all becoming very complicated. Have they invented something to do so that no more men will die? Right? That would be to their credit, actually. But people are dying at every moment, and the scientists have simply invented something to accelerate their death. Rather than trying to stop people from dying, the new modern different warfare equipments and different type of ways and means are only trying to accelerate death. This is the word Prabhupada uses. Accelerate means they are making it faster, quicker. Just like everything you want quick nowadays. Tatkal, Turant means immediately you want everything. So for that, Prabhupada is telling you want something immediate, quick fix. So like that, Krishna also is giving us the arrangement here. Quickly you die. Quickly you get disease. At least in the former times, people were not having their lifespan was much bigger, much better. They were not getting disease so easily. But nowadays it is becoming quick. Everything is quick. Is that to their credit? So there is no solution to that. No solution to disease, no solution to death. Prabhupada comes to about birth now. So they are trying to stop overpopulation. What is their solution? Every minute the population is increasing by 100 persons. Now these numbers have gone up very much. These are statistics. Right? You want to stop death, birth, you cannot stop. So there is no solution for birth, there is no solution for death, there is no solution for disease, there is no solution for old age. But these are all inevitable. Every one of us are going through this various aspects of our life. We are born, we are getting old, we become diseased, right? One day we have to die. So what is the solution for this? No doctor, no scientist, no greatest philosophers, anybody can give you any understanding on this. Very, very interestingly, Prabhupada is bringing out this logic. Even a great scientist like Professor Einstein had to undergo old age and death. Why could he not stop old age? If he's so advanced, great scientist, he should have stopped his old age, he should have stopped his death. Everyone is trying to remain youthful, but what is the process? Very, very wonderful and to the point and very challenging points Krishna Prabhupada is making to make this journalist understand. The scientists do not care to solve this problem because it is beyond their means. That's the point. Right? Simply you can claim that, oh, I discovered this medicine, now this disease will not recover, will not happen. But the disease again comes in a different way, different form. But nobody can claim that this is going to solve all our problems. They are giving some kind of bluff, that's all. But Krishna consciousness is the solution. Prabhupada very clearly makes it a point. Simply going on bluffing that this and all will not help you, won't serve you. What is going to solve you is take up the path of devotional service as given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna consciousness is the solution. And the whole thing is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Let them try to understand it. At least let them make an experiment. So Prabhupada is inviting. He's telling, come, study, understand. If you have a better solution, please suggest. Otherwise, you accept what we are trying to tell you. That's what Prabhupada's mood is. Because the problems of life with regard to birth, death, old age, disease, until now we have not got any solutions. But Bhagavad Gita is telling, if you can follow the principles what Krishna has given, it'll relieve you from birth, death, old age, disease. There's a nice statement of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvadaha tektva deham punarjanma naiti. So Krishna says that birth, death, old age, disease is an aspect of this material world. you start understanding about me, you start worshipping me, you start performing devotion to me, this will qualify you to relieve yourself from this struggle for existence in the material world. And immediately after you leave this body, you will come to me, come to my loka, Krishna says. What Krishna is trying to tell us here. So like this, we can see very clearly how following the principles of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada is recommending that. And you see, you just come and read Bhagavad Gita, try to understand Bhagavad Gita from different points of view. Be very open-minded, be accommodative, try to take the best out of things around us, right? And something is offered in the best way. Even when you go for any marketing of anything for your own personal use or for your family use, you want to have the best. You try to go to the market, understand things and compare. Then finally you come to a decision, right? Because you want to do the best. So Prabhupada is saying similar thing. You have been following something, but there's no transformation in you. There's no change in you. Rather, it is deteriorating. Situation of the world is deteriorating. So why don't you accept something which is very genuine? Which is going to try and change you and everybody and really benefit the whole human society. That's the point. Okay, so we'll conclude here. This is the last slide of today's discussions. And with this, we conclude this topic only. So, show bottle spiritualists exposed. If anywhere is anything to ask, discuss, or comment, we can take a few questions or comments. Okay, Gupta ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Every day, every session, our ideas are getting reinforced and reinforced.
Yeah. See, one important aspect which Prabhupada is trying to tell us in this today's context is how Prabhupada had been, or rather in his whole way of spiritual approach to the people is all accommodating.
Very true.
All inclusiveness. Because whatever best in any practice is there, let us adopt it. Not being very fanatic and telling whatever I am doing is correct. You are all wrong. Prabhupada used the word dogmatic. Right? So our Vedic way of approach is that way, very broad-minded.
Yeah,
very broad-hearted.
Very true.
Not very crippled way of approach of things. Right? That is the biggest message of today's session. Okay. And thank you. We'll conclude here. We'll come with a new topic next session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.